Okay, so hi, I'm Zizaran. We are going to be reviewing the patch notes for 2.6, which have just come out. I have not looked at them yet, so this is my first impressions. A couple of things have been spoilered, not a lot. So obviously we know about 2.6. I mostly have an interest in the patch notes themselves. Okay, we will look through them actually. All of your characters is still present. These are all normal. Path of... Right. Pays homage to legacy and these items of the past. Do you want to experience the heart-stopping surprise encounters of invasion? Risk valuable items for even more valuable. Rewards and talisman require powerful crafting items and essence. So you can do everything. 3 league stones. You ever wanted to fight a triple essence avian wretch holding a talisman while a corrupting tempest is active? Now is your chance. This is the first time anyone has ever thought of fighting that. Nobody's wanted to fight a triple essence avian witch holding a talisman. That sounds like a transfer to standard. Anyway, so we're getting the reliquaries. There were 40 different relics. Commensuratorily rare. Well, I'm excited. The new challenge leagues include 40 new challenges, which we looked over before. Right, so a big thing that's coming in 2.6 is the solo self-found mode. It's going to be a different league, and it turns out here that you can transfer even your Atlas progress and masters over, which is pretty cool. The one button moves all of that over. Anyway, major features and content. Lionized Watch now has stairs. Now this revolutionizes racing, and like the entire game, like everything. It turns the game around, so that's pretty big. 12 new unique threshold jewels, a lot of which look pretty cool. 12 unique items, 6 which are designed by our supporters. Oh, cool. Added a new unique strongbox, Wayland's War Chest, can't wait to find it. 5 new rogue exiles, which is going to be pretty cool. Hoping for some really overtuned ones that'll get nerfed later on. Get some funny rips and stuff, that'd be cool. I feel like that's going to come back to me when I die to one. Added 4 new divination cards. I think I saw them. Added 25 new grandmasters. Wow. Syosa now sells all quest gems once you've completed his quest and the quest required to unlock the appropriate tiers. Who the fuck is Syosa? Syosa, Path of Exile. Should I know this? Oh, it's the library dude. That makes so much sense. And it made sense why I could not remember his name. The purchase item under screen now allows you to highlight items by keyword. Finally, that's amazing actually. We can have that on copy pastes. So, the passive tree can now be searched by keyword. That's god tier. The friends and guild screen now sort online. Oh, nice. So, sorting, that's big. You can now filter friends and guild screens by name to find specific contacts. That's amazing for racing and stuff. Improved game performances, load times, and memory usage. I've been burned by this before, but I'll trust them. Minor features and content. Items are now destroyed when they hit the ground in areas where items can't be Oh, wow. Okay. That was a fix for dropping maps. Thank you, Gauntlet. Tempests capable of harming player not only spawn in the broad vicinity of alive monsters. Huh. Okay. Weird. Wither and Demon Tamer now wears the lightning armor pack. Sometimes the shreds now affect all nearby allied players when activated. Wow! Wow! Really? Wow! No way! And one of the items I've had spoiled for me is the gull, which had some sort of, because that was on Twitter, and that was, it's got some shrine effect. So that could be really cool for a support with Culling Strike then. Wow! Wow, you could give shrines to your team? That's so cool. Change the explosion effect of Vile Molten Shell and Molten Shell. The new one has better performance. And Cannibalism has better performance. Cool. Undead Rings can now roll a new mod that increases the level of Soccer Gems by up to 3 levels? What? That's amazing. Wow, that's really strong. Gonna be using Undead Rings a lot more. Oh, by up to? So it's like you can get a +1 or a +2 or +3? Oh, you just have to bless it then. That's fine. Wow. The Nihilist item prefix, you get +1 to Soccer Gems on level 4 items. Down from level 40, added it. Oh. Oh, +2 Chaos Gems. Wow. If they change double dipping, that would be crazy for Essence Drain. Obviously, you still want poison right now, or... Well, maybe not. No, that's just crazy for Essence Drain, dude. Getting a +2 like staff, we might see more staff Essence... Maybe not. Maybe not. Because, like, staff, no shield? I don't know. I don't know about that. How about that? Diviner Stormhouses can now only spawn in maps? That's shitty. I do not like that. Then they should, like, buff them again. If they're only in maps, they should buff them again. I see why they nerfed them when they were in leveling areas and in, like, Dryad Lake, but I'm not a fan of them being as weak as they are then. I understood the nerfs, but not anymore. Anyway, hopefully they'll tune that. Brian Rot mod now grants plus damage. Oh. Ooh. Wow. So, is that... I can't remember if that's gloves or boots. But, that's... Wow. The mute win one is still, like, just terrible. Oh, yeah, it is gloves, then. Plus damage during flask effect. I like that. Spectral will signed by unique items. Scissors, Weird, and Scourge are now 80% more life. They're now the same size as the player for the... Right, but they're still bad. Right, okay, so that didn't matter. Allies cannot die. Maw can no longer return immobile monsters such as Eye Hatchery. That's good. That was annoying. The Found now does more damage. Okay. Reduced monster Spectral Throw damage because they can hit twice when turning. Yeah, Spectral Throws killed me. Substantially reducing the size of Piranha's packs both for balance and performance reasons. Okay. Good. Well, they weren't that imbalanced. They're just a little rippy. Then there's some renames. That's not important. Skill balance changes. Ice Crash has had its damage increased. So just straight up buff. Wait. Oh. The second stage deals 20% less damage down from 30. So is it 10% now? What? That's crazy. Okay. Weird. Saunders had its primary damage by 40%, increased by 40% low one, had slightly improved damage progression as to gem levels. The secondary shockwave now deals 40. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought. I think that's actually going to be a buff to Sunder for racing. That's actually... That's pretty massive buff to racing. Actually huge. We could end up seeing Duelist being the #1 class now. Blade Flurry has had its damage reduced by 18% at level 1 of the gem, scaling to 15% reduction at level 20 of the gem. Okay, I was not surprised to see that nerfed. Magma Orb's explosion radius increased by 28. The anime weapon skill now has a maximum of 50. Wow, they put it at 50? That's amazing! I was expecting 20, 30. That's so good for my build as well. Because right now you have all the totem bros running around with like 100 to 150. And I was running around with like 60 to 80. I mean, maybe like 100 if I was trying extra hard to summon. But that's great. That's a fantastic balance. I'm impressed. Wild Strike now converts 100% of the attack's physical damage to a random amount up from 60. That's massive. That's a huge buff. Be a lot easier. Oh wow, Inquisitor Wild Strike. Flame Surge now has 40% less mana cost at all levels. Previously had one of the highest mana cost per second of Thief. Will be more in line with similar skills. Cool. Orbit Storms now has a base duration of 6 seconds down from 10. Okay. Way to fuck our racers. Race zombies now have a melee attack range of 9 on their basic attack, up from 4. Their SAM ability is now more visible, have 25% larger radius and will be used more readily. Cool. Is there a way to get the cooldown down? Where's the threshold jewel for something with it? Vigilant Strike, 75% increased fortified duration and increases by 5%. That's still just okay, sure. Buff for duelist racing, that's nice. Val Haste now gives 25% attack speed, 24, and 10 movement speed at level 1 of the gem, down from 30, 29, and 19. Oh wow. Wow, at level 20, it's like the same as an old level 1 gem. That's still pretty usable though. Reduced for 4 seconds to... Oh shit. Wow, it lasts so short. Okay, well, discipline, we've walked over that change already, so no longer grants any bonus energy shield. Just the regen. Still really good and will be used for things like Aziri killing and boss killing. Only one instance of Blade Vortex active at once. You can no longer cheese the thing with having 6 different Blade Vortexes and stacking. That's good. Vitality Void, Spirit Void. Move the mana and life leech to the bottom. Oh, okay. This is gonna be hard to visualize though. This is gonna be hard to visualize without actually seeing it. We're gonna be like skimming through these because these is something that is like a lot easier once you can actually see it. It's a little hard to look over just in text form, at least for me. A new weapon, we'll look at like new things and like numerical values, but just like things being moved places is gonna be hard to visualize. A new weapon elemental damage wheel has been added to the southeast corner. Oh, that's really big for like Raider and like Duelist. The area between has been changed. Okay. So pathing. Oh, right, yeah, Blood Drinker and Mind Drinker being like a lot of the leech nodes is being changed to attack damage or just damage. I saw there was one changed to damage. I can't remember what it is. That's pretty big. Sal's O's has been right. I'm honestly I'm going to skip the skill tree changes because it's so hard to look at without the tree. So we'll look over those. I don't really want to like just drag this out. Map mod balances. So they're off rust. So less armor is 20, 25, 30. Oh, it's just a roll. So it can like, okay, 20, 25 or 30 less. And wait, I gotta read that again. Half 20, 25 at low, mid. Oh, it's been nerfed? What? Okay. But nobody plays armor builds anyway. It's fine. Right, that's fine. Hex Warded is also been nerfed. And the draw has been buffed. That's impressive. So, okay. Well, I guess they're hating a little bit on the meta here. That's interesting though. Threshold Jewel Balance. Unique Threshold Jewels that apply to specific skills have had their attribute requirement reduced to 40 from 50. They also no longer require those attributes to be allocated. That's huge. That's massive. So if you don't understand what that means, it just means that you have a lot more freedom on like, you don't have to waste points on taking like decks without traveling, for example, to get a Threshold Jewel to work. Just has to be put in an area where they're in range. That's really big. Steel Spirit for Spectral Throw, 5% increased damage for each enemy hit, up from 4. So, okay. I feel like they could have changed that more. The Rapid Expansion Unique Threshold Jewel grants a 35% increased angle for Ground Slam and also 25% chance to grant an Endurance Charge. Okay. It's still Ground Slam though. But okay, that's good. The Growing Agony Unique Threshold Jewel now says 10% chance to grant Unholy Might. That's the Viper Strike one. Spirit Guard, 8 ranged jewels to be animated is now limited to 2. Right, but that's still not great. That's still, like, the AI on them is so bad. We tried that, it was pretty bad. I'll probably test it out this thing if I do an animate weapon, and we'll try with 16 ranged weapons. If it, you know what? If it does, I'm guessing it doesn't, but if it then lets you have 64 weapons, that would be great, and it would be really cool. But I doubt it does that, so not a fan. Mostly, as I said, because of the AI on it. Spirit Response Unique Jewel Threshold is now limited to 2. Yeah, I'm gonna look up what Spirited Response is. Spirited Response, Path of Exile. So that's the... Limited to 2? 5%. Oh, that's the one like that all the Guardians use. The ES Guardians. For... Yeah, 5 to 10% increased mana. Okay, that makes sense. We're stacking that as well, I guess. And then you can do the Grand Spectral ones now still though. Is this math? Feels bad. Yeah, I'm not great at math. The Vigil now fortifies your nearby allies for 20 seconds. Okay. That mean we have Fortify on Shield Charge. Fix that first. Maybe don't give us that. Anyway, the Unending Hunger Unique Threshold Jewel now grants 50% chance to gain Soul Leader on kill and is now limited to 2. Oh wow. So you can get 100% soul leader with 2. Cool. Vectors are going to be interesting to see what people do. The volley fire unique threshold drill now limited to 3. That's the barrage one, I think. Weight of the Empire is now limited to 2. Did they not get changed? Especially Weight of the Empire. Winter bounty grants a 50% chance to call something on a power charge on kill is limited to 2, so 2 gives you 100%, that's good. There are some other threshold drills changes listed in the area of effect balance section. Cool. Weapon balance. Now this is interesting. I'm very curious to see what they did to maces and stuff. All one-handed weapons have had their base damage increased. Lower level weapons have with lower crit chance. And weapons with lower value implicit have had their damage increased by higher value. Cool, I like that. Local added physical damage modifiers to one and have had their increased values by 10%. Using a divine aura will cause those to be updated. Wait, what? Okay. Sweet. Good. Good stuff. Retroactive. Weapon critical strike chances have been adjusted. Most crit have been reduced on the base type. Could have over 6.4 base. This is to create a more distributed choice of weapon for crit strike characters. Two-handed weapons have their weapon speed increased by 0.1 attacks per second and their base damage reduced. That makes them the highest average speed two-handed weapon types. Huh. Well, swords did need a buff. Many one-handed and two-handed swords now grant additional flat accuracy as their implicit mod, replacing percentage increases to accuracy. That's a huge buff for like crit on just not RT things. Dagger implicit mods have been reduced. That's good because daggers were massive and pretty much the only things we use. So it's 30, 40, 50 instead of 40, 60, 80 now. Automatically apply to existing copies. Retroactive nerf. Lower level claw base types that previously granted life each now grant a life gain for each enemy hit. Cat's Paw grants 8, Time Worn Claw grants 19, and Fright Claw 20. I feel like Claw needs more love though. Marketh ones have had separate life and man on hit, and they now got more life on hit. 15, 28, and 38. Marketh thrusting swords have a higher chance to bleed. I feel like that could be more than 20, but still, that's an okay increase. And you can bless them to fix them. Thrusting swords are granted crit multi, grant 25 to 35, down from 30 to 50. Using a blast orb will update. Okay, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Fuck that. Blast orbs, nowhere near them. All stames, okay, yeah, the block changes. It's 12 to 18, it's gone from 18 to 20. Okay, AoE balance changes. We're removing the concept of increased radius of area skills and replacing it with increased area of effect for all skills. So basically what that does is it gives us large diminishing returns on Ink AoE. I think it's going to work out differently than what they're hoping though. The goal they wanted is that we're going to invest less in AoE. Now we have to take everything again, I think. We'll see. We'll see what it works out at. We don't need to judge it before we see it. Obviously, if it's terrible, we can give them feedback on that and it can be changed for the futures. Players who went out of their way to get as many sorts of increased radius as they could see significant reductions will see significant reductions in their skill. I think everyone's going to see significant reductions in their AoE is the problem, but we'll see. That's the exciting part. In light of this change, area of effect skills have been reviewed and the base radius of many skills have been adjusted. Static Strike from 16 to 19, EQ from 20 down to 18, Shockwave Totem from 20 to 24, this is a buff. Blade Flurry has gained 2 units on all of its ranges. The damage has increased from 12 to 14, the damage area from 12 to 14, and the channeling targeting area from 15 to 17. Huh. Interesting. Blast Rain from 20 to 24, Contagion from 18 to 20, Righteous Fire to 14 to 18, Ball Lightning 16 to 20, Blade Vortex from 14 to 15, Glacial Cascade 10 to 14, KB from 10 to 14, and has been removed from the game, basically. Spread of explosions have also been increased to avoid overlapping with the primary target. That's what we loved so much about KB, though. Skills which used to gain increased area of effect as they leveled no longer do. Instead of the following skills gain additional base radius at certain intervals. Playground some stuff. Okay, no, that's fine. So they're just like reworded it a bit. Mostly an AoE nerf. Thank you, Varadu. Melee splash now gains 3% down more area of effect per level from 1% radius per level. Ink AoE grants 30% ink AoE from 20% increased radius and up to 49% ink AoE from 39. This is a significant reduction, so this is a nerf. And then Conk AoE, or Conk AoE? Conk effect has been changed similarly. Static Strike no longer has any variance in the size of the explosion between uses. Reva and Val now gains 50% more AoE per stage instead of 20% more radius. Right, but we saw how that worked out, so. We'll see. The following passive skills have been adjusted, and that's just more of the like rewording of the AoE. That's not that important to read line for line, I feel like. Ascendancy skill changes. Endless munitions grant 50% ink AoE. Slayer now grants 20%, and that's just rewording as well. They're just rewording this to like go with the new changes. Well, it'll be easier to see those when we actually have like concrete. This is this much different. So, all items which previously granted a radius of area skills. We'll monitor the impact of this change closely. Good. So hopefully, like we'll see changes if we don't like it. There, threshold jewels is mostly the rewording stuff. Here, let's read this. This is about rolling flames. Previously granted up to 50% increased radius to fireball projectiles as they travel. New copies of the jewel grant up to +4 radius and a shared limit of +2. So it's limited to 2. Existing copies will now grant 50% increased area at a maximum distance instead of increased area at a max distance instead of radius. Okay, it'll be interesting to see how that works out actually. In most cases, monster area effect remains unchanged. There will be some cases such as monsters using Reeve, which will start the area with a larger area, but will grow less per stack. And then this is the monster changes as well. Right, League specific unique item changes. Valkyries, cold resistance increased to 40%. Max life mode increased to 50/70. Oh wow. That's massive. That's gonna be good because a lot of people are gonna want the Rampage gloves. Brine Rot Whalers increased movement speed increased to 25 and the max energy shield to 120, 150. Wow. Oh wow, I'm gonna be looking into getting those, so that's pretty cool. Mute Wind Whisper Steps increased movement speed mod to 25%, critical strength chance with spells 50/70. Wow, they're massive now. Added cool damage to spells 25 to 30 to 40 to 50. Okay, hi. They might be interesting as well for Valspark with the added to spells and crit. They're really good Valsparkers. Valako's Sign chance to shock mod increased to 10%. Increased damage versus shocked enemies to 40. I barely ever have anyone buy that when I found one. Still probably won't. Fairy Script. Increased cold damage mod increased to 25 to 30. Added a lightning damage mod increased 1 to 50 to attack and spells. Now has damage leashed as that's crazy. Damage leashed against shocked enemies instead of frozen enemies, and now has damage leached as mana against frozen enemies instead of shocked enemies. Okay, interesting. Barracks Pass increased fire damage and fire damage mod increased to 25 to 30, and the added cold damage mod from 20 to 25 to 30 to 50 to attack and spells. Cool. Ilfbane's Trickery no longer creates shocked ground when it hits a 10% chance. When hit at a 10% chance. Now has a triggered spell called Shock Ground that casts when you are hit. No longer casts random curse on hit. Has a 20% chance to curse uncursed enemies on hit. Interesting. Breach of the Council. Number of additional arrows reduced to 2. Wow. Jeez. But it wasn't that good now. Didn't see that. It wasn't exactly meta. Weird. Brine Row Fly no longer has a mana on hit. Being a taunted enemy. Well, that's a shitty Brine Row shield. No longer has an 8 to 12% increased attack speed and now has 8 to 12% increased cast speed. Has the property gain 2 power charges on using a War Cry. That's pretty cool. Increased to +3 War Cry gems. Braid Blade Banner now increased life by 50 to 60. No longer has additional level to Warcry gems. 3% attack damage. Meat Wind Pennant, no longer 20 to 30% increased chaos damage, no longer additional level to Warcry. What's it got then? Now has 25% increased Warcry effect, 80 to 100% increased evasion. Property gain Onslaught for 4 seconds, wow. Red Blade Tramplers, now have 50 to 70 max life. Increased movement speed. Wow, that's really good for War Chief. Wow. The Salio Sign, cool damage to now add to attack and spells. Chance to freeze enemies increased to 10. No longer has physical damage added versus frozen. No longer has 20% reduced chill duration. Now has 40 to 60 added against chill enemies. Hopefully that's to spells too though, not just attacks. Now Gamu's Sign, chance to ignite mod increased to 10%, added fire now to attack and spells. There's a lot of rewording with attack and spells on a lot of things. Interesting. Now has 20 to 30 life gain on igniting an enemy. Gold Timber Spire. Oh wait, Broken Faith. No longer has reduced buck chance. Now has the property to gain Unholy Might for 10 seconds unblocked. It's pretty decent. Gold Timber Spire no longer has 1% damage leached to its life by totems. Has 0.5 damage dealt by totems leached to. Huh. Wow. Okay. Crown of the Pale King now has 60 to 80 max life. Barracks Respite. Lightning damage up to 25 to 30. Attacking spells. Now shocks all nearby enemies on killing a shocked enemy. Wow. Okay. That's pretty decent. Now ignites all nearby enemies on killing an ignite. Oh, wow. Okay. There's some cool prolif mechanics on Barracks Respite here. Interesting. Gift from Above. No longer has created concentrated ground on critical strike. Now has... I wish they linked the items instead. Like before and after. I feel like that would be a better way than explaining it in text. Now has a triggered spell cost consecrate that costs when you deal a crit strike. 50% in crit strikes on ground. Consecrated ground. And 5% block chance. Cool. The goal now has 30 to 40 cold res, 60 to 80 life, energy shield. Wait, what? And they don't even explain everything because the goal, I saw the image of that with the shrine thing. It was nerfed only in Legacy. Oh. Oh, cannot be obtained. Oh, okay. I'm gonna skip that and actually I misunderstood a little bit. Hey Noodle, what's up? Other unique item changes. Reduce the style of Dota 2, maybe. Synth rank increased to 100 to 160, so they're gonna be actually really nice to find now. Added lightning damage of Essentia Sanguis increased to 100 to 200 and now is on a Volclaw base. Wow, okay. That's a massive buff. That's crazy, actually. That would be really interesting. Essentia Sanguis is the claw that has the Ghost River. Which I wanted to use in a couple of builds. That could be really interesting for Inquisitor Blade Flurry builds early on. Chittigus Span. Reduce physical damage taken from projectile attack mode changed to 50 to 80. Fox Shade, Evasion Radiant Full increased to 500. Tara and Shiver got a buff, plus 2 cold gems. Isn't that what it had? Back to Legacy just? You skipped a ton? Yeah. You missed quite a lot. But I skipped the things that can't be divined. Okay, fine. I will continue going through this then. Edge of Madness no longer has life gain on kill per level. I guess I misunderstood a little bit. I thought this like only affected like the legacy items that are in. No longer has increased elemental damage per level. Has 1 to 2 physical damage added per level. So 100 to 200. Wow, okay. Flat on level 100. Shavron's Revelation, no longer, they can still drop. Oh, okay, right. Sorry, I got a little confused. Shavron's Revelation no longer has 100% increased mana regeneration on the left ring slot, and now has 40 flat mana regeneration per second on the left, 100 max mana on the right, and 100 max energy shield on the left. Wow, okay, that's massive. Death Rush, onslaught on kill onslaught on kill duration increased to 4 seconds, increased the armor to 260. 300 and max life of 40 to 50. So we'll see Death Rush being used, I think. Blood of the Karee no longer has the property of preventing life recovery during fast effect. Now it's 100%. Yeah, I mean, it's still a microtransaction flask. We'll use that to make things look pretty. The rat cage no what? Wow! Wow! No longer has minus max fire res. It has minus 50 fire res instead. Rat cage got a huge buff. Definitely going to be used now. Okay, I'm glad I didn't skip that then. Jorha's Blacksteel now has the additional property 25% chance to cast level 20 anime weapon on kill. Produce Lead Spring. That's kind of cool. You can have a 7-link anime weapon. Produce Lead Sprinkler no longer has added fire damage against ignited enemies. Now has 2 to 4 fire damage. Oh wow, so it's like a mini version of Hawa just for like mace, I think. Brian Rot Mark is no longer supported with level 15 Conk effect, no longer supported by level 15 minion life. Increased spell damage mode increased to 20 to 25. Increased level of socketed golem gems to 3. Now socketed golem gems have 25% buff effect. And 20% of golem gems have 20% of golem life added as energy shield. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, Mute Wind Seal no longer supported by level 13 faster attacks. No longer supported by level 16 increased minion speed. Chance to dodge attacks is now 3 to 5%. Increased level of socketed golem gems increased to level 3. Plus 3, sorry. Now socketed golem gems have 20% increased attack and cast speed. Socketed golem gems grant onslaught for 10 seconds on summon. Red Blade Band no longer is supported by level 12 multiple projectiles. LMP no longer supported by 17 minion damage. Now has max 30 to 40 life. Increased socket of golem gems increased to 3. A lot of golem changes on the Warman items. That's pretty cool. Again, it's a little hard, at least for me, to visualize and see all these. Knight's Hold increased level requirement to level 25? That's not hard to visualize, and that's really bad. But like, at least do like 10? Wait, it was 10, right? I don't know, man. It was sort of only good till like level 35 to 40. I don't know, dudes. I don't know why they hate on like the second playthrough uniques. Why? This is like the gloves all over again. Like the gloves, the essence gloves that had level 1 requirement, they were great. Could never use them on the first playthrough. It's the only problem people have is like the first playthrough is like amazing, and then you're sort of bored the second and the 55th playthrough, right? These are perfect for that. Keep them. Don't push them away. Anyway, back to other unique changes. So we were down to Tyrant Shiver. Le Hoop of All increased damage mode increased to 10 to 30%. All attribute mode increased to 10 to 30. And all resistance mode increased to 10 to 30. Okay, I'm gonna be pretty, and item rarity 10 to 30. Wow, I'm gonna be pretty happy finding the Hoop of All now. That's cool. Sibyl's Lament reduced elemental reflect mode taken up to 40%. Wow, okay. Well, this would have made a lot more sense if Vinctar had been removed from the game. Thank you, Johnny. No, they should not let me do game balance. Wrist Wrap, attack speed mode increased to 10%, so up from 5. I wish they like just images, dude. I have a hard time with this. Hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. Gang's Momentum, increased chance to ignite mode increased to 10 to 15, and increased damage to ignited enemies by 25 to 40. Oh, they're those really cool red boots that you never use. That's cool. That's actually useful now. Prism Weave, added fire damage, and added cold have been increased, and the lightning. So just everything in Prism Weave. Wow, that's massive for leveling. Really big. Wow. It's the belt we use for like leveling LE damage builds, like the lightning bow, whatever it's called. I'm bad with names today, guys. But leveling wed builds and stuff will be a lot easier now with Prison Wave being that nice. Restless Ward increased, energy shield innovation increased to 200 to 20 to 250. Max life increased to 60 to 80, and life regen per endurance charge from 20 to 30. Cool. The Princess, physical damage increased to 25 to 30. Okay, just like a small twink buff. That was pretty nice to find before for some builds. Flesh Eater, chance to bleed on hit increased to 30%. A life leech against bleeding enemies mod increased 30%. Wow. Joffrey's Sanctuary increased per 5 strength. Energy shield per 5 strength mode increased to 2. Wow, okay, we just doubled it. That's gonna be, and that's the one that has Stealth Oath, I believe. That's pretty big. 3-step assault. Maximum life mod increased from 50 to 70. Movement speed increased to 25. Cool. While on onslaught increased to 100. Okay. Still feel like they could have gotten tuned a little bit more. Deidre's tenure. Maximum energy shield mod increased to 32. Int mod increased to 20. Spell damage. Is that the shitty gloves? Spell damage mod increase. Oh, okay. They are quite a lot better now with reduced cast speed being only 15. Yeah. Okay. Tenure. I think 10%. Either way. What? Lionized Remorse. Maximum life mode increased to 160 to 180? Really? Hello? What? That's fantastic. But isn't... So, whenever we've been talking about fixing life, unique items have been like... Because I saw they tweeted about Combs Boots getting a massive buff as well for life. And this has always been the worst, like, Trapper Gloves, yeah. The worst change, in my opinion, has always been unique items. I don't feel like that's the best way of fixing life. So, this is obviously a good thing for life, but, you know, does make it very mandatory. Not very, but increasingly. I'm a little worried. I'm not too happy with that direction. I'm scared of making unique items something you rely on. So... we'll see how it turns out. As I said, like, even if things end up being, like, bad or very biased this league, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because, obviously, 1.5 months later, we can change it in the beta, or 2 months later. I don't know when the beta starts. I'm hoping 1.5. I'm optimistic. But we'll see how it works out. I'm very excited anyway for a lot of, like, I think broad changes can be pretty cool. We'll see some decent changes. Right, let's see. Soul Mantle has been level 20 spell totem now. Right, it's still hard to use though. Nice 7-link chest though. Which I always enjoyed using, but it is very rippy. Increased mana cost mod now reduced to 42. Wow. Voidbringer got a massive buff. That was surprising. That was already used quite a lot. Congore's Undying Rage onslaughting. Okay, is that really all you're gonna do to Congore's? Is the onslaught duration increased to 4? You pretty much have it permanently anyway. This was not really changing anything. There's another name for this stick as well. Alright, let's see. Dresses Defiance, all saturation on hit, increased to 2 seconds per endurance charge. Huh. Cool. That's decent. People do like Dresses Defiance, or used to at least. Maybe not so much anymore. Forbidden Taste is increased recovery of max life, increases 75 to 100. Okay, but it's still spoopy. I don't like it. I don't like that. The flask, I mean it's obviously a good change. Asnos Mark no longer has 50% increased energy shield, now has 30 to 50 energy shield. Oh, that's a really low level shield, right? You'll be able to get pretty high energy shield now between that, the March's Crown, and a couple other things. Or twink things. The Peregrine increased accuracy mode increased to 300. Physical attack mana leech is now attack mana leech and increased to 0.4. They seem to be rewording a lot of the physical ones to do more like it doesn't matter if you're physical or elemental, which is cool. And some of the ones have been changed to just damage as well, I saw. Immortal Flesh no longer has reduced maximum resistance mod. Now it's 15 to minus 25% to all resistances. Very cool. Very cool. Because the thing about things like Immortal Flesh and Rat Cage, which were minus maximum resist, is that You can never use them really. It basically made, like, if something has minus 5% max fire rest, you're never gonna use that because it makes you too vulnerable. Sundance, movement speed mod increased to 20%. Rainbow Stride to 25, and the anvil no longer has reduced movement speed effect. Cool. That's the block amulet. Here's our added cold damage increased from 50 to 60 to 70 to 80, and the dex mod increased to 40 to 50. This is a stupid test anyway. Don't like it. Movement speed on windscreen has been increased to 15. Increased elemental. Wow, okay. I feel like Wed is getting a lot of love this patch. That's pretty interesting. That's the +1 curse ones, right? Slither pinch attack speed mod increased 5 to 10%. You know what would actually be perfect? Feedback to GGG. If you hover over Windscream, it would come up with like the wiki or something. That'd be great. There's too many items for people to like manually look up each one, and people won't know each one, right? Darkscorn has increased physical damage to 130 to 150. There's some nice twink item increases. We make people use them a lot more while leveling. Thunderfist added lightning mod increased to 100 to 100. From 1 to 100, sorry. Might see some Thunderfist builds. I know a lot of people have been like, "Ziz, can you make a Thunderfist build?" It's like the one that adds 1 to 100. Well, now 1 to 100 to attack and spells and some other stuff. They're interesting. It's like a not really elemental face breakers, but sort of. Thief's Torment, life gain on hit 40 to 60, and mana gain mod increased to 30. All resistance is 16 to 24. That's the Quant Ring, I believe. Maybe. But yeah, it's hard to know all of them. As I said, that's why they would be good with stuff like that. The Foible mana regen increased to 80 to 20. Max mana mod increased to 100, and increased max mana 16 to 24. Foible is the one used for Mjolnir to reduce stats on Xanthus. Cossack increased energy shield 125 to 150. Your animate golem will thank you. Marlene's Fallacy no longer has the property non-critical strikes deal 40% less damage. I'm gonna bring this up on stream. What? So, that's crazy. Marlene's Fallacy is currently... What? No longer has the property non-critical strikes deal 40% less damage. That's crazy. Because that's so gimpy. If you don't crit, you don't do any damage. That's actually pretty big. So, mostly you want to be Assassin because it does have 40% less crit chance. You can still use that with Assassin. Now it's like a pretty nice buff. Still, you basically do have to be Assassin, I'd say. I think you have a hard time without it. This is a buff. Ming's Heart, reduced maximum life mod is now 10%. Reduced energy shield mod is now 10%. It still shocks me that people ever use that. Fuck reducing my life, dude. For damage. Miss Mortis, duration of Unholy Might is increased to 10%. Oh, wow. Increased energy shield mod to 200 to 220. Neat. Oh, sorry. Mark of the Doubting Knight. Chance to bleed on critical strike mod increased to 50. Chance to poison critical strike increased to 50. Increased physical. Wow, that is a buff. That would be a really nice early game dagger. Very nice. Normally you say Mark of the Doubting Knight when you open the Strange Barrel because you don't fucking want it. So if you say it, maybe it like thinks, oh, it wants me, let's disappear. That's not, we don't want you. But now we might do. So that's good. Maybe that's what we'll hope for. That or Consuming Dart. Beano's probably still being... Well, maybe there are Beano's changes. I haven't seen that yet. Dream Feather added physical damage, got buffed. Mathil must be rejoicing. Cherubim's Malefiance. Increased Chaos damage mod. Increased to 50 to 80. Okay. That's pretty big. I can't remember what that was now. I almost want to look it up. Actually, I will look it up. Cherubim's Oh, isn't that super low before? It was 10 to 20. Oh, that's pretty cool now. Wow. And it's got a really cool item base too, so it's nice to find. It is pretty rare actually. That's I like it. Very excited for that. Malachi's Artifice. Reduced equilibrium effect. Oh, Siggy's Ring! Reduced elemental equilibrium mod. Reduced to 25%. Reduced. All resistance mod is now reduced to 20. They could have done something more with that though. The Iron Rod Staffs now help us 2 lightning gems. I mean, let's face it, nobody's going to use those. We're going to be putting them together and making them up. Ungil's Harmony crit mod is reduced by 25%. Okay, well, I guess they don't want us using that. The Broken Crown max energy shield increased to 70 to 90. Cool. Quick item. Terminus Malefians for ED. Yeah, life-based ED. It's pretty cool actually. Wow, you could go hybrid. Surge Binders no longer has reduced charge duration mod. I've always wanted to use Surge Binders. They're pretty cool. They do a lot. Time cost increased cast speed mod increased to 5 to 10%. Max energy shield mod increased to 15 to percentage. Wait, maximum energy shield mod? Is that flat or percentage? I'm gonna guess not percentage. No longer has reduced mana shield. So reduced energy. Wow. My brain today. No longer has reduced mana regen mod. No has 15% increased mana regen mod. Reduced temp chains effect on self increased by 50%. That's pretty cool. Shaper Seed. Life regeneration given to allies increased to 2%. Golems? Nah, I probably still not gonna be used to be fair. Relentless Fury. Life leash mod increased to 2%. Bloodplay. Chance to bleed increased 30%. Deep One's Hide. Added cold damage increased to 12 to 15. Dude, give us a fist buff. We need that. Shadowy Charge. Increased attack speed mod reduced to 5 to 10%. Oh, that's sad. Montecril's Crafts. No longer has zombies deal 80 to 100% increased fist damage. Now has zombies deal... Whoa! Now has zombies deal 80 to 100% more physical damage. More! Wow! Wow! Okay. Zombie max life mod increased to 5,000. Wow, we're gonna be happy to find Montecril's Crafts. There's gonna be so many summoners. This stream, that's crazy. That is crazy. More. Wow. Deity and Dawn. Attack damage leached as life mod increased to 1%. And they burn 35% faster. Nah. Springleaf. Nah. I'm mostly trying to look at like interesting changes because there's so many. There's not that many I want to go into detail about. Most of them aren't that interesting still. Winds of Change reduced movement skill reduced to 5 to 10. I mean, they were already good, so that they're great now. Heretic's Veil increased suck to reduced to +1. Oh, okay. Weird. Maybe they're just changing. They're just changing what uniques we're going to be happy about. Ascent from Flesh. Maximum energy shield mod increased 75 to 80. I don't actually know what Ascent from Flesh is. I'm going to check that and show you guys real quick. Oh, that's that weird ropey belt. What was the change? Maximum energy shield mod 70 to 80. That's a pretty big buff. Shaper's Touch. Accuracy per 2 int increased to 4. Mana per strength increased to... Wait, mana per 4 strength mod increased to 2. And energy shield per 10 strength increased to 2%. Huh, cool. Wow. Evasion per 10 int increased to 2. Melee fist increased to 2. Wow, just that overall buff on Shaper's Touch. Pretty cool. We will definitely see. That was already being used a little bit. Maybe a little underrated. But they're pretty cool now. Very cool. Heartbreaker. Increased the spell damage mod. Increased to 60 to 70. Cool. Wonder if that's going to affect the Soul Taker to Soul Taker Heartbreaker Kingmaker recipe. Pyre. Interesting. Cold damage converted. Fire damage mod reduced to 40%? What? No. No, they didn't do that. What happened to Call of the Brother then? It must have been decimated. Call of Brotherhood. Lightning damage converted to cold damage 1 reduced to 40! No! No, no, no. Really? Wait, what? Are you... No, wait, what? No, 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 no. So, for those of you not in the know, Pyre is currently 100%. Call of Brotherhood is 50. And... Dude, no, like... That's crazy, though. Wow. Pyre got fucked. Fuck. And it's so harsh. Why not 50? So you can do Avatar of Fire and a Pyre ring to get a full conversion. That's really mean, dude. Making people get 40% busted conversion. Just... Oh, that's harsh. Wow, that's... I'm so sorry, guys. But then... Oh, dude. And by the way, that 10% call of the damage hurt, we can't do Valspark anymore, guys. Valspark's unplayable now. Like, it's just not a viable build anymore. Rest in peace, Valspark. They finally found the nail in the coffin. It's just unplayable. So, sadly, we're gonna be using Heavy Strike and Double Strike instead of Valspark, guys. So, rip Valspark. Now, obviously it doesn't fucking affect it, does it? It affects nothing. We didn't use it in a way that used the fucking 50% conversion. What? Okay, well, thanks. Somebody at GGG loves us. So weird, dude. So weird. I don't get that. I shouldn't be saying this. We're gonna coast through. Ichimonji, increased physical damage mod, increased to 80 to 95, increased attack speed. I don't even know what that is. I'm actually gonna look that up as well. Ichimonji. Oh, that's that weird Corsair sword that always gives me a heart attack because I thought it's a saber. Because it's the same, like, shape. So I always thought that was the fucking Severed in Sleep. Right. Following changes cannot be obtained by rerolling the item with a Divine. Wake of Destruction is 15% movement speed. Neat. Dream Fragments now has property cannot be chilled. 30 to 40% cold rest. Pull us back to the legacy Dream Fragments days, TGG? It's not gonna happen. You've made potions too OP. Hey, Sai. Look, Tornil Caress no longer has reduced mana. Now has 20 to 30 max life. Now has 10% chance to gain a Frenzy, Power, or Endurance charge on kill. Wow. Wow, that and the Conduit nodes? Whoa. Really cool. Terminus Est. Increased physical damage one increased to 220 to 260. Increased crit strike chance of 50 to 75. Wow. Wow, Terminus. I love that sword. That was my, like, Spectral Throw build. Yes, that's great. Ashran now has max life mod of 30 to 50. Now has the property Socket Gems are supported by level 10 added fire. That's really cool as well. Wow, really cool to find early, day 1. Very nice. Star very classed. I mean, it's more of a fishing meme, I mean, I don't care that much. Oh, that's just the AoE changes again. Bronze Lith now has 15% increased attack and cast speed on using a movement skill. Oh! Oh, that's so cool! That's so cool. Maybe Cyclone. Ooh, interesting. That is the... I'm gonna look it up real quick. I wish I had, like, an easier way of doing this. Hopefully you guys don't mind too much. Yeah, that is the +2 socketed movement one. That's very, very cool. Cyclone, maybe. Especially when they fix life. Solaris Lorica reduced chaos damage taken from to 30 to 40 and now it's reduced 25% reduced chaos damage taken over time. More cheap low life, cool. Brim Sorrow no longer has increased evasion, physical damage converted increased to 50. Pyre says hello. So can we just put on 2 gloves? Can that be 50% per glove? Just 100% from gloves now? No? Okay, sadly. But oh well. Interesting. They are, like, playing around a lot with the conversion, eh? Caldnell now has 10 to 15% 10 to 15% physical damage added as cold? Wow. 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 Okay. That's kinda interesting. I think we can see Kelton House being used. Again, life needs to be fixed a little bit first. Quill Rain, less weapon damage reduced to 40%. Now has 100% increased local physical damage. Quill Rain not just for EA? Question mark. Dark Ray Vectors reduced to 40%. Oh, reduced Frenzy Charge duration reduced to 40%. That's huge, because now you can have Dark Ray Vectors and what are the things you put on your hands? Snakebite. You can have both. You can have Snakebite and Dark Ray Vectors now. That's really big. So +1/+1 Dark Ray Vectors and Snakebite. Very cool. Dyed Bell has 10 to 20 added physical damage. Very huge change for War Chief and Facebreaker builds, because this means you don't only have Bringer Rain or Abysses as the only flat fist on your helmet. This is massive, especially since Dyed Bell has an upgrade, which I don't think is Dyed Bell. Thank you, Snipe. Poem's Root. Maximum life mode increased to 150 to 200. Cannot be slowed below base speed. Very cool, very cool. We'll definitely +1 for NC Poem's Roots are going to be worth a lot now with the 200. Quite a lot, I think. Faded Breath is 20% increased energy shield. Idris Scorn has been buffed quite a bit, 100 to 120 max ES. Rocka, chance to gain fast charge on critical strike chance. 50% onslaught per frenzy. Frenzy increased to 2%. Now has 50% ink duration. Karui Ward now has 30% increased projectile damage. Wow. Okay, that's fantastic. Caravan's pace, movement speed on full life mod reduced to 20%. Now has 15% increased movement speed. Okay. Anyway, Chevron's Gambit no longer has 2% energy shield regenerated on low life. Now has 1% energy shield regeneration. What, just at all? That's kind of cool. Carnage Heart no longer has reduced life or reduced energy shield. Now it's 30-40. Yeah, that is a pretty big twink buff. I think I saw an image of that. 30 to 40% increased damage while leeching and increased life leech rate. Very cool for Slayers. Starconia's Head. Dex mod increased to 50 to 70. Increased evasion rating of low life to 150%. Just like, okay. Chalice of Horus now has 40 to 50 max life. And 50 to 70 max energy shield. Wait, what? What's that again? Oh, that stupid shield. Just life and energy shield. Interesting. Hey, Jiggly. I'm sorry for neglecting my Twitch chat, guys. It's mostly focusing on getting all this done. Skullhead now has 10 to 20% all resistances. The Bated Breath one is huge. Yeah. I see that. Yeah, that is the first time we have % increased energy shield on a belt. I think it would be better if they... I think it would have made more sense to people if it said increased maximum energy shield. I'm assuming that's what it does anyway. Incandescent Heart no longer has 60 to 80 armor. Increased armor, energy shield increased. 10 to 20% elemental damage added as chaos. Now has attack damage leech instead of physical attack damage leech. Interesting. Fury's Bite now has 10 to 20 added cold. Thousand Teeth Timu has 10% of damage reflected gained as life. Oh, this could be interesting for some of the... Maybe a Thorns build or like an AFK build? I don't know. I haven't dabbled that much in those anyway. Added fire damage mode of Blood Boil increased. Reduced chill effectiveness and self. Increased to 75. No longer has longer ignite duration. 10% movement speed while ignited. Southbound now has 50% increased Herald of Ice damage. Oh, interesting for bombers. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Victoria's Influence now is supported by level 30 Generosity. Reduced reservation cost of stock items increased to 30%. No longer has 10 to 20% ink AoE. Okay, and that's the rewording. Wow, that's crazy on Influence. Very cool. Very cool. Both that and the Incandescent Heart changes are really, really interesting. Definitely like chests that are gonna drop now, and like there's so many like unique items now that are gonna be worth something now that we were just like vendor trash before. Very, very cool. The Covenant no longer has blood magic. Now has socketed gems have blood magic. Cool. No longer has reduced max life, but has 10% increased max life. Very, very nice. Well done. Rhyme Gaze, increased energy shield mod increased to 180 to 200. Gems supported by level 20 Concavite. Wow, free 5-link. Very nice now, 5-link helmet. No longer has slower start of ES recharge, but has reduced ES recharge rate of 50%. Thanks, Deputy. Infractive no longer has cannot leech. Minecraft now has cannot leech life instead. Increased physical damage mod increase. So nice like buff for the Minecraft bow there. Asenath's gentle touch. Ooh, please say this has been buffed. Curse with level 10 instead of level 1. Temp chains on hit. I mean, okay. Mostly temp chains needs quality a bit. I wonder if they can actually have that. It might be hard to code. Maybe they should have just given a higher level. I suppose it is a very low level glove, to be fair. Oxium now is a crystal belt base type. Wow! I was saying that during Breach. How wouldn't it be cool if Oxium is a crystal belt? Then I also said, but nah, because Energy Shield doesn't really need a buff. So, mana leash per power charge now works for all forms of attack damage. Wow, Oxium's huge now. Very, very cool. I didn't feel like that needed a buff though. The Magni now has 20 to 25 all rests. At 200 strength or more. I love that mechanic. That's so cool. That makes it both more like viable endgame and because obviously you can't have 200 strength early game. And still like decent early game. Very, very cool. Megan Ords. Vice, that's the gloves, right? 2% life regen per second at 400 strength or more. Okay. Ambush Charge no longer has 2% life regen at low life, and now has 2% life regen if you've been hit recently. 60 to 80 life. Wow, okay. Decent twink chest. Still like something you don't really want to 5-link, I'd say. The Restless Courage no longer has individual resistances. Now has all rest of 10 to 20. 20% chance to block spells if you blocked an attack recently, and 20% chance to block attacks if you blocked a spell recently. Okay. It's a little weird. Chernobog's MTX Pillar now has fire damage to spells and attacks, 60 to 80 life, no longer has a 10% chance to cast Enfeeble, and has a 25% chance to curse uncursed enemies with Enfeeble on hit. Interesting. Oh, I like how it's like... Oh, that's including Chaos Rest. I see. That's cool. Sorry. I like, as I was going to say, that it's very cool how it's specific uncursed. So it's like not going to over curse if you have a blasphemy or not blasphemy, but if you have a cast and damage taking curse and stuff, you can have 2 or self cast. Dusto now has added chaos damage to spells and attacks while using a flask. No longer has 10 to 20 max mana and it has max life mod. Mjolnir now has additional property. Okay, so 100% increased spell damage on Mjolnir basically. Very cool. And it's retroactive, you don't need to divine it. Oh, and I kept loads of Mjolnirs that I found. People kept trying to buy them off me for 1 chaos, and I was like, no, you know what? I'm just gonna keep them in case they get buffed. The Stormheart no longer has property, cannot be shocked while frozen. Now cannot be shocked while chilled. 50% chance to shock chilled enemies. And Dread Arc now curses level 10 flammability on hit instead of level 1. That's very big early on. Very cool. Their Stalker has been reduced movement speed to 15 and has, oh, so 15 all the time. So the less gimpy in town and in your hideout or while not throwing a trap. That's nice actually. And the Mjolnir one, that is retroactive. Affects existing versions, so you don't need to divine it. So if you have a Mjolnir right now, you don't need to go find a new one. Rimmer's Soul has 50 to 70 max life. No longer has the block and stun recovery. No longer has the chance to avoid freeze or chill. Now has the property cannot be frozen or chilled if a fire skill is used recently. Okay. Fidelitas Spike, chance to shock mod increased to 15 to 20. And now has 50% increased Herald of Thunder buff effect. That's very big for early game. Kikazaru, reduced effect of Curse mod increased to 40%. No longer has the 13 to 17 life regen per second, and now has 1% life regen. Oh, now has one life regen per second per level, so 100 life regen per level at level 100. Cool. Diodas increased DPS by 50%. Enemies chilled by you now take 100% increased burning damage. No longer the chill duration, now has additional property of chilling enemies. In the offhand. Well, not that interested still. Sorry. Light Bane Raymond, desecrated ground created on block now deals more damage, 250 chaos damage per second. But can we scale it is the question. Nictus Lantern, no longer is supported by level 10 cold to fire support, no longer supported by added fire, now has the additional property of socketed gems, level 2 fire gems. Property of 63 to 94 added fire damage to socketed gems, and that should affect spells too, as far as I know, even though it doesn't say attacks and spells. Drill length projectile damage is now increased by 50%. This affects existing items. Wow! That's a nerf. Brutal. So, I wonder how many people are gonna read it and be like, wow, 150%? Thanks for giving projectile some love, GGG. Then they're gonna find one and see it's 50% and people are gonna be sad. Imagine it does sound like a buff. Obviously it is like 50% total now, not 150. Path of the Deceiver no longer has reduced chance to block. All resistance mod increased 10 to 15. Now has the property of nearby enemies are intimidated. PoE intimidated. What? Oh. Intimidate is a debuff that causes the affected target to take 10% increased damage. Oh. Interesting. Victoria's Flight no longer has 30% movement speed on low life. Now has 15% increased movement speed. Now has the additional property of you and your allies have 10% increased movement speed. Right, everyone in my party, we're getting one each. We're gonna be running fast while leveling. Wonder if it stacks or if it works from Golem. Can you imagine if it stacks and it works from Golem? Then you have like 6 anime guardian, 6 anime guardians, 6 people. Vroom, vroom. Queen of the Forest builds. You're just gonna be running. You're all gonna be Forest Comp. Biscuiter's Vigil now has 5% LA penetration with this weapon. Cool. Nomadic Storm now has 20% increased physical damage taken. Oh, no longer, sorry. Now has 15% increased damage taken while on full energy shield. They're still kind of bad. This is worded to stack. Cool. Very cool. Now has 100% increased duration of coruscating elixir. Brain Rattler has 20% lightning penetration, slight buff. Kingmaker no longer has the mana. Now has the property insufficient mana doesn't prevent your melee attacks. The aura now provides Cooling Strike to allies rather than Cooling Strike to spells. And that's 30 to 40 crit. Very cool. I wish they give it a damage boost too though. New Zana mods. I was really excited to see what they did to Zana. I'm wondering what like the rotation's gonna be. And what mods like what we'll be able to stack with beyond and stuff this league. So that would be cool. To see what mods they put in and if we have Nemesis there. Because Legacy returns many previous challenges, we're trying out a different approach to Zana for the next 3 months. Zana mods now obey similar rules to the rolling of items. Monster Life, for example, cannot be applied to a map that already has a Monster Life mod. Let me read that again. Monster Life, for example. Wait, what? Areas inhabited by spiders cannot be applied to a map that has... What just happened? What did they do to Zana? I'm kind of scared of looking down now. These new mods cannot be applied to unidentified maps. Still has her basic item quantity mods that can be applied, including unidentified ones. Note that the Monster Life 4 and Monster Damage 4 provide more damage and life bonuses than you would normally be able to get on a map. I'm scared. Hold me. On level 2, Monster Life 1, 2 Chaos Orbs, 20 to 29 more Monster Life, 14% quant, and 7 rarity. Additional totems, inhabited by spiders? For 6 Chaos Orbs, I can make my map be inhabited by spiders. Wait, so what did it say about spiders? Cannot be applied to... Okay, right, that's what I want to do reread to make sure. So if it has demons, I can't put spiders on. So this thing keeps increasing then, the monster life and monster damage. Interesting. That just keeps going up, the quant and rarity. Additional rogue exiles. There was a name for that before. It's called Anarchy. Paris inhabited by 2 additional rogue exiles. 15% increased quant of items. Okay, well that one's at least usable. Inhabited by Blackguard. Why is it 6 Chaos Orbs though? Why? I don't want to put that on my map for 6 Chaos. Make that 3 Chaos. What? Monster Life 3? 40 to 49. Monsters from Beyond. Saying enemies close together. Okay. Okay, so we still have Beyond. That's cool. That's not as bad then. Okay, we'll be using this then. so next Legacy League, we'll just be using this on our map. Monsters from Beyond. Monster damage 3 inherited by bandits. Still 6 Chaos. Why? Okay. Monster life 4. Monster damage 4. And then twinned unique bosses. Very nice for completing the challenge. And very good for quarry art and stuff. That's really nice. Why is that 3 Chaos and why are all these 6? That makes no sense. I don't like those. Right, okay. One time passive skill tree reset as normal, and then bug fixes. Right, see if they fix the one thing. Fixed some issue about walkability. Fixed a bug where after the league merge it was still possible to get into a bad state with Shaper Orbs never drop. Wow. Rip league. Fixed a bug where the lightning environment could be... Okay. 1. Fixed a further issue with Fog of War. Fixed a bug with Ancient Ruins. So I can't see anything about the one thing. The one thing not fixed? Can we still do the one thing? Okay, so just to make sure I didn't like mistreat anything. Ring tar. Oh, okay, that was what I was gonna do. I was gonna do that. Amazing. So, okay.